Hey, chosen one. Ever wondered why people are drawn to you or feel uneasy around you? It's because God is making you dangerously attractive. Your ancestral energy, your authentic living, and your inner strength awaken hidden dreams and fears in others. You're not just entering rooms, you're shifting atmospheres. You reflect the truth people have buried, and your fearless presence shakes the systems they rely on. Some will admire you, others will resist you, but none will remain unchanged. You are a walking revolution. If this message stirred your soul, hit like, comment 99, and subscribe to claim your light. Your time is now. Number 1. Your ancestral energy ignites spiritual awakening. Step into any space, and something extraordinary happens. Your presence shifts the air, drawing eyes and stirring hearts without effort. Why? Because you carry an ancestral energy, a profound force woven into your very essence, radiating inner strength and authenticity that others feel before they can explain. This isn't about your style or charm. It's about the spiritual growth you embody, a legacy of wisdom and unresolved truths passed down through your bloodline, making you dangerously attractive in ways that transcend the ordinary. Deep within you lies what we call ancestral codes, spiritual and emotional blueprints that hold the dreams, struggles, and lessons of your ancestors. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're like invisible threads in your DNA, carrying the weight of generational hopes and wounds. Maybe your family grappled with silencing their voices to survive, or perhaps they faced cycles of fear that kept them from shining. For generations, no one had the strength or calling to address these patterns. Until you. You're the one chosen to break through, to heal what was left unresolved, and to rewrite the story. This journey of ancestral healing sets you apart, giving you a magnetic pull that others sense instinctively. When you enter a room, this energy speaks louder than words. People, especially those tied to your past or sharing similar life paths, pick up on it without knowing why. Have you ever caught someone staring longer than usual, fumbling their words, or getting defensive over something small? That's their subconscious recognizing the personal empowerment you carry. Your presence acts like a mirror, reflecting truths they've buried. Unresolved pain, unfulfilled dreams, or fears they've ignored. For some, this sparks a desire to connect, drawn to the healing potential in your energy. For others, it's unsettling, as your authentic living exposes their own avoidance. Psychologically, this can trigger discomfort or admiration. Some might feel inspired to grow, while others compete to mask their insecurities. It's not about you personally, it's about the spiritual awakening you ignite. What's remarkable is that most people can't pinpoint why they're so drawn to you, or why they feel challenged. They might say it's your confidence or vibe, but it's deeper. Your self-discovery journey is unlocking these ancient codes, shining a light on generational dysfunction like conformity, shame, or suppressed creativity. You're not just living for yourself, you're a catalyst for transformation, disrupting toxic patterns that have held families and communities back for centuries. For instance, by choosing to speak your truth or pursue your passion, you're dismantling the silence your ancestors were forced to endure. This ripple effect makes you a beacon of life purpose, inspiring others to question their own paths. The more you embrace your authentic living, the stronger these codes become, amplifying your influence. You didn't ask to carry this legacy, but you were built for it. Your courage to face the past and forge a new future makes you a force of personal empowerment, radiating a brilliance that the world isn't fully prepared to understand. As you continue this journey, your energy will keep reshaping lives, awakening those ready to heal and challenging those who resist change. So, what happens when your presence not only heals, but also reminds others of the dreams they've left behind? Let's explore that next. Number 2. You mirror the potential they've buried. Your ancestral energy doesn't just awaken souls, it holds up a mirror to dreams long forgotten. This next truth in your journey of personal empowerment reveals why your presence sparks such intense reactions. You embody the authenticity and inner strength others have left behind. By living boldly and unapologetically, you become a living reminder of the potential they sacrificed, making you dangerously attractive in a way that both inspires and unsettles. This isn't about you. It's about the self-discovery you ignite in others, forcing them to face the choices they've made. When you walk into a room, radiating self-confidence after overcoming life's toughest storms, people can't help but notice. Ever caught someone pulling away after you shared a bold idea, or felt a friend's subtle jab when you celebrated a win? That's their heart wrestling with what you represent. The courage to chase life purpose they once had, but buried. Most people, at some point, surrendered to fear. They traded their big dreams, maybe starting a creative venture, standing up for their beliefs, or breaking free from a toxic job, for the comfort of fitting in. Society, family, or peers convinced them to shrink, to settle for good enough. You, however, refused that script. Through resilience, you've risen from setbacks like betrayal or failure, glowing brighter with every step. This journey of spiritual awakening makes you a beacon of what's possible, and it's a truth others find hard to ignore. And yet, it's not your victories that intimidate. It's the silent message behind them. You chose your truth, no matter the cost. That alone exposes the compromises others made in exchange for approval or safety. You reflect not only who they were, but who they could still become. This is why your wins may feel like losses to others, not because you've taken something from them, but because you've reminded them of what they gave up. Even if unintentionally, your existence reopens doors they closed long ago, bringing to light the dreams gathering dust in the attic of their soul. Psychologically, your authentic living triggers a deep conflict. Your refusal to dim your light, whether by launching that passion project or speaking your truth, reminds them of the version of themselves they abandoned. Perhaps it's the writer they stopped being to please a demanding boss, or the adventurer they silenced to meet family expectations. This exposure can spark admiration, inspiring some to reconnect with their personal growth. Others, however, feel envy or frustration, projecting their discomfort by dismissing your boldness as arrogance. It's a defense mechanism. Blaming you is easier than confronting their own regrets. For instance, a coworker might distance themselves when you take risks they secretly wish they'd dared to try. Your every glow-up, every moment you level up, highlights the gap between their reality and what could have been. This is where things get spiritual. Your energy doesn't just reflect a better version of themselves, it challenges the systems they've built to avoid discomfort. Systems of self-denial, systems of blame, systems that say, I could have, but life got in the way. And now here you are, defying the odds, living your truth, and proving that their excuses were never the full story. For some, this is liberating. For others, it feels like an earthquake shaking the foundation of their comfort. But understand this, your purpose was never to make others feel small. It's to remind them that they were always meant for more, that the dreams buried beneath fear can still rise, if they're willing to dig. You are not the enemy of their peace. You are the revealer of their potential. And even when people resist you, their soul remembers what you've awakened. As you continue to shine through personal empowerment, you'll keep stirring these reactions, not because you seek them, but because your inner strength is a catalyst for transformation. You're redefining what it means to live fully, and that's a revolution others can't escape. You are not just walking your path, you're making others question the path they've chosen. So what happens when your very presence challenges the systems they've clung to for security? What happens when the truth you carry shakes their illusions? Let's explore that next. Number 3. You disrupt systems with authentic living. Your presence doesn't just challenge forgotten dreams, it shakes the very systems people rely on for security. This next truth in your journey of personal empowerment reveals why you're so dangerously attractive. You're a quiet revolution, crafted to unravel the invisible rules that bind others. By living with authenticity and inner strength, you disrupt environments built on conformity and control, sparking a spiritual awakening that transforms the spaces you enter. This is the power of your self-discovery, and it's redefining what it means to live freely. When you walk into any setting, the atmosphere shifts. Conversations pause, group dynamics waver, and people react in ways they can't fully explain. Ever noticed a teammate getting defensive when you propose a bold new approach, or a social circle subtly trying to dim your shine when you speak your truth? That's because your self-confidence carries a message. You weren't made to follow the script. While others have spent years upholding systems, unspoken rules about who can lead, who must stay quiet, or who's expected to conform, you live by your own principles. This resilience, honed through your refusal to bow to pressure, threatens the fragile order they've accepted. For instance, in a community where fitting in is prized, your decision to pursue an unconventional career path can feel like a direct challenge to their norms. You don't just enter a room, you recalibrate it. Your very being speaks a frequency that exposes the false securities people have built around roles, expectations, and silent agreements. This is especially jarring in spaces where identity is tied to hierarchy or performance. In a family gathering, your decision to remain single and fulfilled may silently disrupt generations of expectations. In a workplace, your unwillingness to gossip or follow toxic patterns may make you a mystery, perhaps even a target. You're not trying to cause disruption. You simply exist outside of their design, and that alone begins to unravel it. From a psychological perspective, your authentic living stirs discomfort in those tethered to the status quo. People cling to invisible boundaries. Who's allowed to shine? Who must play small to keep the peace? Because they provide a sense of safety. Your presence, however, exposes these boundaries as illusions. You don't need to argue or create conflict. Simply existing in alignment with your life purpose is enough to unsettle environments rooted in pretense or power plays. This is why some people take an instant dislike to you, sensing a threat to their carefully guarded world, even if they barely know you. Others might overcompensate, nitpicking your words or trying to outdo you in discussions you didn't intend to dominate. These reactions aren't about you. They're about the social change you embody, signaling that the era of hiding behind roles or manipulating for control is fading. And let's be clear, this disruption is sacred. You are not chaos, you are clarity. What you challenge isn't stability, it's stagnation disguised as order. In every system, whether cultural, relational, or institutional, there comes a point where growth demands truth. You are that point. Your energy is a sword and a balm. It cuts through illusion and heals what's real. Your refusal to play by outdated scripts calls others to confront their own authenticity. And while that's often met with resistance, it also creates room for liberation. What's truly powerful is that this disruption flows effortlessly. Your personal growth, choosing truth over facade, courage over comfort, radiates a quiet rebellion that challenges society's addiction to conformity. You're not here to prop up illusions, you're here to dismantle them. By living outside the lines others have been conditioned to follow, you inspire some to question their own limits, igniting their own spiritual awakening. Others, however, resist, doubling down on the systems that anchor their identity. This divide, admiration or defiance, marks you as a catalyst for transformation, a force of inner strength that refuses to be tamed. So don't be surprised when your presence is met with resistance or confusion. You weren't born to blend in. You are a divine disruptor, placed in spaces not to preserve them, but to awaken them. As you embrace this role, you'll continue to reshape the world around you, not through force, but through the undeniable power of authentic living. You're rewriting the rules of existence, and that's a revolution others can't ignore. Now, what happens when your energy not only disrupts systems, but slices through the facades people hide behind, exposing not just their fears, but the truth they've tried to silence? Let's dive into that next. Number 4. Your radiance unveils truth with unapologetic authenticity. Your energy doesn't just shatter systems, it pierces through the masks people wear to hide their truths. This next truth in your journey of personal empowerment reveals why you're so dangerously attractive. Your presence carries a radiant clarity, a blend of inner strength and emotional intelligence that strips away pretense and demands honesty. By embracing authenticity, you spark a spiritual awakening in others, challenging them to face their insecurities and shallow connections. This is the heart of your self-discovery, and it's reshaping relationships in ways that leave a lasting impact. When you step into any space, your energy lights up the room like a beacon cutting through shadows. Ever noticed how some people gravitate toward you instantly, eager to connect, while others shy away as if you've seen their secrets? That's because your self-confidence isn't warm and fuzzy. It's piercing, perceptive, and uncompromising. It cuts through superficial chatter and sees beyond facades, picking up on unspoken tensions like envy veiled in praise or insincerity masked as kindness. For instance, at a social event, your genuine curiosity about someone's true motivations might unravel their polished exterior, leaving them visibly unsettled. This knack for sensing hidden dynamics, whether it's a colleague's power play or a friend's forced smile, isn't something you force. It's a natural outflow of your authentic living, rooted in your alignment with your life purpose. And the truth is, people know they can't fake it around you. Your presence seems to dissolve the scripts they've rehearsed for acceptance. Their jokes feel hollow, their charm seems staged, and their armor begins to crack. Not because you confront them, but because you reflect them. You reflect who they are behind the mask, and who they could become if they dared to live freely. That reflection is not always welcomed. For some, it stings. For others, it heals. From a psychological perspective, your energy acts like a mirror, reflecting truths people have buried. Many rely on performances, fake confidence to hide doubts, people-pleasing to secure approval, or calculated alliances to maintain status. Your resilience, built through confronting your own vulnerabilities, forces them to face what they've avoided. Insecurities, unresolved conflicts, or inauthentic bonds. This can trigger defensive reactions like brushing off your honesty as too much or overcompensating to prove their worth in your presence. For example, a teammate might double down on their expertise during a discussion, rattled by your straightforward feedback that exposes their posturing. Yet others feel inspired, drawn to your personal growth and motivated to shed their own facades, seeking deeper connections. This is why you often become the person others go to in moments of crisis, when the mask falls off and the pain can no longer be hidden. You are the one they call when they want truth, not comfort, clarity, not validation. Your authenticity doesn't coddle egos, it awakens souls. And in a world addicted to illusions, that kind of truth is rare, raw, and revolutionary. What's extraordinary is that you don't set out to unsettle anyone. You're simply thriving, living in self-discovery, and refusing to play along with pretense for anyone's comfort. In a society where relationships often hinge on appearances and control, your personal empowerment threatens fragile constructs. Your energy doesn't just reveal individual masks, it disrupts group dynamics built on superficiality, like a workplace culture that thrives on unspoken compromises or a social circle that avoids hard truths. This transformative power marks you as a catalyst for social change, pushing others toward honesty and growth. Some embrace this, while others retreat, unable to face the reflection you offer. You are a walking revolution of truth, not because you scream it, but because you live it. And that changes everything. You are the fire that refines, not destroys. You are the light that exposes, not condemns. But to those clinging to their comfort, even light feels like judgment. As you continue to radiate this unapologetic authenticity, you'll keep transforming the world around you, not through confrontation, but through the undeniable force of your inner strength. You're redefining what it means to live and connect truthfully, and that's a revolution others can't ignore. So, what happens when your energy not only unveils truth but defies every attempt to box you in or control you? What happens when you refuse to be defined by limitations others project onto you? Number 5. Your unbound spirit defies labels and control. Your energy doesn't just pierce through facades, it eludes every attempt to pin you down. This next truth in your journey of personal empowerment unveils why you're so dangerously attractive. You're a living paradox, a dynamic blend of inner strength and authenticity that defies categorization. By embracing self-discovery, you challenge the human urge to control through labels, igniting a spiritual awakening that reshapes how others see themselves in the world. This is the essence of your self-awareness, and it's a bold declaration of freedom in a society craving predictability. When you step into any setting, you unravel the instinct to sort people into boxes. Ever noticed someone pausing, unsure how to approach you, as if you're a riddle they can't crack? That's because your self-confidence resists the neat categories others rely on to navigate life. One moment, you're offering heartfelt empathy, lifting someone's spirits with your warmth. The next, you're drawing boundaries so clear they command respect. You're introspective yet fiercely grounded, not chasing an idealized image of perfection, but embracing your raw, rebellious, and multifaceted nature. This unpredictability leaves people off balance. For instance, in a workplace debate, your ability to shift from collaborative ally to unyielding advocate for truth might confuse colleagues who expect you to fit a single role, team player or challenger. What disturbs them most isn't your unpredictability, it's your consistency within that complexity. You know who you are. You don't shift to gain approval or avoid rejection. You shift because you flow. Like water, you adapt without losing form, and that fluidity terrifies those who've built their identity on being easily understood. You don't belong to one archetype, one mood, one set of expectations, and that means you can't be owned. From a psychological perspective, your unbound spirit disrupts the ego's need for control. People lean on labels, friend, rival, leader, follower, to dictate interactions and maintain a sense of order. Your resilience, shaped by navigating life's complexities, upends these mental frameworks. They can't pin you as safe or threatening, a mentor or a disruptor, and this ambiguity sparks unease. Some might probe you with loaded questions or subtle jabs, hoping to provoke a reaction that fits their narrative. When you respond unpredictably, like meeting criticism with calm clarity or flipping a challenge into an opportunity, it rattles their confidence. For example, a friend might test your patience with a passive-aggressive remark only to be disarmed by your unflinching honesty. Without a label to grasp, they lose the ability to control you, and that forces them to confront their own insecurities, doubts they've buried to maintain their place in the social hierarchy. And yet, nothing about your existence is designed to confuse. You're not a puzzle. You are freedom in motion. You are the truth that refuses to be edited. You don't ask for permission to evolve. You embody it. And that's what separates you from the masses. The courage to let yourself be all that you are, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else. What's remarkable is that you're not trying to bewilder anyone. You're simply thriving in authentic living, pursuing your life purpose without bending to external expectations. In a world built on roles, approval, and conformity, Your personal growth challenges the very systems that keep people confined. You embody a freedom that's both inspiring and unsettling, a way of being that thrives beyond validation or predictability. This sparks social change, encouraging some to explore their own self-discovery, while others cling tighter to their familiar constraints, unable to embrace the uncertainty you represent. Your presence is a powerful reminder that true strength lies in owning your contradictions, not simplifying them for others' comfort. So you keep evolving, not for applause, but because growth is your nature. You keep refusing to be reduced, not out of rebellion, but because reduction is the enemy of your soul. And in doing so, you light the path for others to expand too. As you continue to shine with this untamed self-awareness, you'll keep defying efforts to define you, not through rebellion, but through the radiant force of your inner strength. You're redefining what it means to live unbound, and that's a revolution others can't contain. So what happens when your unbound spirit not only defies labels but transforms your very presence into a visible glow of inner alignment? What happens when your energy begins to radiate a peace so powerful that it awakens something divine in everyone you meet? Number 6. Your inner harmony shines as a beacon of resilience. Your unbound spirit doesn't just defy labels, it transforms your presence into a radiant testament to your journey. This next truth in your path of personal empowerment unveils why you're so dangerously attractive. Your glow is more than skin deep. It's a vivid reflection of inner peace and authenticity that emanates from within. Through self-discovery, you've aligned your heart and soul with your life purpose, sparking a spiritual awakening that others can't help but notice. This is the essence of your self-awareness, and it's redefining what it means to thrive in a world fixated on superficial fixes. When you step into any space, people sense a shift, a newfound ease in your movements, a spark in your eyes, a quiet strength that draws attention. Ever had someone marvel at your new vibe, assuming it's a trendy diet or a fancy skincare routine? They latch onto surface-level explanations because our culture is obsessed with appearances. But what they're truly seeing is your inner strength shining through, a physical echo of the harmony you've cultivated inside. Your radiance isn't about external enhancements. It's the result of resilience and emotional intelligence. For instance, your calm presence might stem from walking away from draining friendships, releasing the stress that once clouded your energy. Your vibrant gaze reflects the courage to reclaim your self-worth after years of seeking approval from those who didn't deserve it. By letting go of bitterness, self-doubt, or internal battles, like the silent struggle to prove yourself, you've unlocked a lightness that others feel, even if they can't articulate it. What makes your glow irresistible isn't just the peace it carries, it's the story it tells. A story of healing, of rising from spaces that tried to dim your light, of sitting with pain until it became wisdom, of choosing love, even when betrayal told you to close your heart. That glow isn't decoration, it's declaration. You've paid for it with time, tears, and truth. And now, you wear it with grace. From a psychological perspective, your glow unsettles those entangled in chaos. People who feed on drama or wallow in negativity find your self-confidence disorienting, as it mirrors their own lack of peace. Your personal growth, forged through healing past wounds, acts like a lens, magnifying their unresolved struggles. For example, at a social gathering, your serene confidence might provoke a relative stuck in self-pity to snap, "You think you're above us now?" They focus on your appearance. You've changed, because confronting the source, your inner peace, feels too raw. This radiance challenges a society that often glorifies dysfunction over growth, where quick fixes like filters or status symbols overshadow true transformation. Some are inspired, drawn to your life purpose, and eager to pursue their own harmony, while others feel exposed, their insecurities laid bare by the light you project. And still, you don't shrink. You don't explain away your evolution or dull your shine to soothe discomfort. You've worked too hard to reclaim yourself from the shadows you once lived in. That glow is your testimony. It speaks when you say nothing. It opens doors, heals rooms, and invites others to ask silently, what would it take for me to feel like that? What's extraordinary is that you don't chase this glow. It flows naturally. You're simply living in authentic living, thriving through the social change you've ignited within yourself. Your vibrance, born from healed scars and reclaimed power, can't be purchased or mimicked. It's a quiet yet commanding presence, radiating a warmth that invites reflection while challenging those who cling to chaos. In a world that prioritizes external validation, your spiritual awakening stands as proof of what's possible when you align with your truth. You're a beacon of personal empowerment, showing others that true beauty stems from inner alignment, not fleeting trends. And perhaps the most powerful part, your glow doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't need applause. It just is, a sovereign energy that refuses to negotiate its worth. You're not here to be palatable. You're here to be real. And in your presence, others are forced to reconsider what they call strength, what they call success, what they call beautiful. As you continue to embody this radiant self-awareness, you'll keep transforming the spaces around you, not through effort, but through the effortless power of your inner strength. You're rewriting what it means to shine authentically, and that's a revolution others can't overlook. So, what happens when your glow not only reflects inner harmony, but boldly claims your right to exist without seeking anyone's approval? What happens when you stop shrinking to make others comfortable and start taking up the space you were always meant to fill? Number 7. Your fearless self-ownership ignites a revolution. Your radiant glow doesn't just reflect inner harmony, it boldly asserts your right to exist without needing anyone's approval. This next truth in your journey of personal empowerment reveals why you're so dangerously attractive. You embody fearless self-ownership, living with authenticity in a world tethered to permission. Through self-discovery, you've broken free from the chains of external validation, sparking a spiritual awakening that challenges others to question their own limits. This is the essence of your self-awareness, and it's redefining freedom in a society conditioned to seek consent before shining. When you step into any space, your presence shifts the energy, not because you demand attention, but because you claim your place with unwavering self-confidence. Ever noticed how some people are drawn to your boldness, while others tense up, as if your certainty threatens their world? That's because you defy the societal script that insists on waiting for a nod of approval, whether from family, co-workers, or social norms, before embracing your life purpose. Most people are conditioned to seek permission from parents, peers, or bosses, believing they need a green light to own their potential. Without it, they retreat, masking fear as humility and settling for a life of quiet compromise. You, however, live as if your worth is undeniable. You voice your ideas without hesitation, pursue your goals without apology, and radiate a glow that needs no one's validation. For example, at a community event, your decision to share a bold vision might inspire some but rattle others who expect you to defer to tradition, simply because you act with authority that requires no one's consent. And that's exactly what unsettles them, your inner authority. You walk into a room not asking, "Is this okay?" but declaring through your energy, "This is who I am." That declaration, unspoken yet undeniable, calls out the silent compromises others have made. It shines a light on all the times they stayed silent, shrank themselves, or waited for affirmation that never came. Your very presence becomes a living question. If they're free to be, what's stopping me? From a psychological perspective, your unapologetic, authentic living triggers a profound reaction. People rely on permission-based systems to feel secure, convinced that safety lies in conforming to expectations or pleasing others. Your resilience, forged through rejecting these constraints, exposes the fragility of their self-imposed boundaries. This can ignite inspiration, stirring those who yearn for the freedom you embody to pursue their own personal growth. Others, however, respond with defensiveness, criticizing your boldness as over-the-top or selfish to shield their discomfort. For instance, a colleague might downplay your achievements, claiming you're showing off, because your confidence highlights the risks they've avoided. These reactions stem from the unsettling truth you reveal. Their limitations are self-inflicted, and the door to their cage swings open if they dare to step out. But what you embody is not arrogance, it's liberation. You've done the inner work. You've sat with your insecurities, faced your fears, shed your masks, and now you walk as someone who belongs to themselves. That kind of freedom doesn't ask for permission, it gives it. Not just to yourself, but to everyone watching. Your self-ownership becomes a silent invitation to others. You can reclaim yourself too. What's remarkable is that you're not trying to unsettle anyone. You're simply thriving in self-ownership, embracing your inner strength, and living in alignment with your truth. In a culture that rewards compliance and external approval, your emotional intelligence challenges the status quo, showing that true power comes from within. Your refusal to wait for permission, whether it's launching a passion project or standing firm in your values, radiates a quiet yet commanding presence that reshapes expectations. This makes you a catalyst for social change, inspiring some to break free from their fears while confronting others with the reality of their self-imposed limits. You are not loud, but you are unshakable. You are not aggressive, but you are immovable. And that subtle, grounded strength becomes a wave that others cannot ignore. You are no longer negotiating your worth. You're simply living it. As you continue to embody this fearless self-awareness, you'll keep redefining the spaces around you, not through force, but through the radiant power of your authentic living. You're rewriting what it means to live without apology, and that's a revolution others can't ignore. So, what happens when your unapologetic presence not only reclaims your power, but stirs the hidden desires others have buried to survive? What happens when the freedom you've cultivated becomes the spark for others' silent longings to rise? Number 8. Your bold presence revives suppressed passions. Your unapologetic presence doesn't just claim your power, it rekindles the passions others have buried to survive. This next truth in your journey of personal empowerment unveils why you're so dangerously attractive. You radiate a fearless authenticity that awakens the dreams and desires people thought were lost forever. Through self-discovery, you've unleashed your inner strength, sparking a spiritual awakening that urges others to confront their hidden potential. This is the heart of your self-awareness, and it's redefining what it means to live vibrantly in a world that demands suppression. When you walk into any space, your energy ignites a quiet fire in those around you. Ever noticed how some people lean in, captivated by your vitality, only to pull back as if struck by a sudden realization? That's because your self-confidence resurrects the qualities they were forced to silence. The courage to speak their mind, the ambition to chase bigger dreams, or the joy they were taught to hide. Society, family, and relationships often impose a heavy price for nonconformity, compelling people to bury their boldest selves to secure approval. They muted their truth, stifled their creativity, or dimmed their passion to fit in, convinced that survival meant sacrificing their spark. You, however, embody those suppressed qualities with unapologetic resilience. For example, during a casual conversation, your enthusiastic pursuit of an unconventional goal might inspire a friend to recall their own abandoned aspirations, like a long-forgotten desire to write a novel, but also unsettle them as they face years spent conforming to a safe career. And that's the paradox. Your joy can stir sorrow. your freedom can stir regret. Because when you live without compromise, others are forced to confront the weight of their own concessions. Your very existence becomes a window into a version of themselves they left behind, and for a moment, sometimes longer, they wonder, could I still go back for it? From a psychological perspective, your authentic living stirs a profound internal conflict. Your emotional intelligence, sharpened by embracing your full self, acts like a beacon, illuminating the potential others have buried. This can ignite inspiration, prompting some to reconnect with their personal growth and rediscover their stifled dreams. Others, however, feel a surge of discomfort, unable to face the truths you've surfaced. They might call you too much or out of line, projecting their unease to avoid confronting their suppressed desires. For instance, a family member might criticize your vibrant energy as over the top because it reminds them of the adventurous spirit they abandoned for familial expectations. This tension arises from the realization that survival, marked by compromise, isn't the same as truly living, a truth your presence forces them to grapple with. What's extraordinary is that you don't seek to expose anyone. You simply exist in wholeness. But your wholeness is rare. It's loud in its silence. It radiates without performance. And that kind of energy has gravity. People feel it in their gut, even if they don't understand it. You remind them of the fire they used to feel before they were told to tone it down, of the voice they once had before they learned to be quiet, of the life they imagined before they were taught to settle. And in your presence, something stirs, a forgotten hunger, a longing to feel alive again, not successful, not admired, but alive. You are the living permission slip for others to reclaim what they've lost. You show them that what's buried isn't dead, it's dormant, and your boldness becomes the spark that reawakens their inner flame. Not through lectures or advice, but through embodiment, through being. As you continue to radiate this fearless self-awareness, you'll keep awakening hearts, not through intention, but through the effortless power of your inner strength. You're rewriting what it means to live without limits, and that's a revolution others can't ignore. So, what happens when your bold presence not only revives passions, but embodies a captivating balance of light and shadow that draws the world in, not to observe, but to transform with you? Number 9, your harmonious complexity radiates authentic power. Your vibrant presence doesn't just awaken buried passions. It weaves a captivating harmony of light and shadow that pulls others in. This next truth in your journey of personal empowerment reveals why you're so dangerously attractive. You embrace your full self, both brilliance and imperfections, with a profound self-acceptance that defies society's need for simple labels. Through self-discovery, you've balanced your inner strength with your vulnerabilities, igniting a spiritual awakening that challenges others to face their own multifaceted nature. This is the core of your self-awareness, and it's redefining what it means to live authentically in a world that craves one-dimensional identities. When you step into any space, your energy creates a magnetic pull that both enchants and unsettles. Ever noticed how people seem drawn to you, yet struggle to define what makes you so compelling? That's because your self-confidence transcends the rigid roles society imposes, either projecting untarnished virtue or embracing chaos to claim freedom. Most people feel pressured to choose one side, masking their flaws to seem perfect, or leaning into rebellion to appear liberated. You, however, navigate both with elegance. Your kindness radiates warmth, yet your unflinching honesty cuts through facades. You're introspective yet boldly unfiltered, owning your struggles without apology. For example, in a team meeting, your ability to offer empathetic support while firmly addressing a tough truth might inspire colleagues but leave them puzzled, unable to reduce you to a single archetype, nurturer or disruptor. You are not either or, you are both and. And that duality is your power. Psychologically, this harmonious complexity stirs a deep reaction. People rely on clear categories, hero, villain, ally, threat, to make sense of others and maintain a sense of control. Your resilience, built through confronting your fears, mistakes, and doubts, upends these oversimplifications. Your emotional intelligence allows you to embody both grace and grit, creating a dynamic energy that's both inviting and challenging. Some are motivated, drawn to your personal growth and inspired to explore their own suppressed complexities, the parts they've hidden to fit in. Others feel unsettled, projecting their discomfort by labeling you unpredictable or confusing. For instance, a friend might call your blend of warmth and intensity hard to understand because it mirrors the inner contradictions they've avoided. This tension highlights a universal truth. True freedom lies in embracing all aspects of oneself, a reality your presence makes undeniable. What's most powerful is that your complexity isn't a performance, it's a permission. You are proof that healing doesn't mean becoming perfect. That strength includes softness. That authenticity includes contradiction. You don't hide the messiness of being human. You've made peace with it. And that peace becomes a mirror. Not everyone can look into it comfortably, but once they do, they often can't look away. What's remarkable is that you don't seek to captivate. You simply thrive in authentic living, pursuing your life purpose with a depth that can't be boxed in. Your self-ownership, embracing both your light, your compassion, wisdom, and grace, and your shadow, your struggles, passions, and raw honesty, creates a beauty that defies superficial norms. In a culture that often demands conformity or caricature, your inner peace and self-confidence challenge the status quo, showing that true power stems from standing in your full, complex truth. This makes you a catalyst for social change, encouraging some to accept their own contradictions while unsettling those who fear the potential you reflect. And as you continue to walk through life unapologetically whole, you give others the courage to stop fragmenting themselves just to belong. Your presence becomes a quiet revolution, not of perfection, but of permission. You are not asking to be understood. You are giving people the chance to understand themselves through your example. As you continue to radiate this vibrant self-awareness, you'll keep drawing others in, not through effort, but through the effortless power of your inner strength. You're rewriting what it means to live without splitting yourself into parts. And that's a revolution others can't resist. So, what happens when your harmonious complexity not only captivates, but embodies a power so complete, it inspires others to reclaim their own, not in imitation, but in liberation. Number 10. Your complete self-ownership redefines strength. Your harmonious complexity doesn't just captivate. It radiates a power so whole, it inspires others to reclaim their own. This next truth in your journey of personal empowerment unveils why you're so dangerously attractive. You embody an unyielding self-ownership, living with authenticity in a world where most surrender their self-worth to fit in. Through self-discovery, you've woven every piece of yourself into a spiritual awakening, challenging others to face the fragments they've lost. This is the essence of your self-awareness, and it's redefining what it means to live fully in a society that thrives on compromise. When you walk into any space, your presence carries a commanding yet quiet strength that shifts perspectives. Ever noticed how some people are drawn to your unshakable resolve, while others shift uncomfortably, as if your wholeness exposes their own cracks? That's because you've rejected the common practice of giving away your power to draining relationships, unfulfilling roles, or societal expectations that dictate who you should be. Most people live in fragments, handing over their inner strength to appease others, conform to trends, or chase fleeting approval. They silence their dreams for a partner's comfort, follow paths that don't align with their values, or adopt personas to gain acceptance. You, however, have reclaimed every part of yourself. The ambitions you once set aside, the truths you muted, the passions you dimmed to please others. For example, in a social circle, your choice to pursue a bold career shift without seeking validation might inspire a friend to reconsider their own stifled aspirations, but unsettle another who clings to a safe job for approval. And here lies the paradox of your power. The more whole you become, the more fractured others feel by comparison. Not because you are trying to outshine anyone, but because your life becomes a silent testimony that it's possible to rise from dismemberment into reintegration. Your existence becomes the uncomfortable mirror to everything they gave up, and the undeniable proof that it can be reclaimed. From a psychological perspective, your resolute, authentic living sparks a profound confrontation. People avoid acknowledging how much of themselves they've sacrificed, finding security in external validation or predefined roles. Your resilience, forged through reclaiming your self-acceptance, acts like a beacon, illuminating the power they've relinquished. This can ignite a spark, motivating some to embark on their own personal growth and rediscover their lost potential. Others, however, feel a pang of unease, deflecting by labeling your confidence as overbearing or unrealistic to mask their insecurities. For instance, a family member might criticize your independent choices, uneasy because your strength reminds them of the dreams they abandoned for societal norms. This forces a piercing question. What would my life look like if I held all my power? A truth too daunting for those accustomed to living in pieces. But the truth you carry is not a weapon. It's an invitation. You don't shame others for their concessions. You simply show them that healing is possible, that integration is real, that strength isn't about perfection, it's about wholeness. You've walked through the fire. You've wrestled your demons into submission, not by erasing them, but by making peace with them. And that peace becomes your power. What's extraordinary is that you don't aim to unsettle anyone. You're simply thriving in self-ownership, pursuing your life purpose with a wholeness that can't be ignored. Your refusal to trade your self-worth for acceptance, whether by launching a venture that reflects your values or standing firm in your truth, radiates a magnetic self-confidence that defies cultural norms. In a society that often rewards conformity over individuality, your emotional intelligence and inner peace redefine strength, proving that true power comes from within, not from external applause. This makes you a catalyst for social change, inspiring some to reclaim their fragmented selves while challenging others to face the void left by their concessions. And most of all, you remind the world that power isn't loud, it isn't always sharp. Sometimes, it's the quiet decision to choose yourself, every time. It's the soft no, the clear yes, the boundary drawn in peace. And when people witness that in you, they don't just see strength, they feel it. As you continue to embody this steadfast self-awareness, you'll keep stirring transformation, not through effort, but through the radiant power of your inner strength. You're rewriting what it means to live without surrendering your essence, and that's a revolution others can't overlook. So, what happens when your complete self-ownership not only inspires reclamation, but shines as a beacon of strength earned through life's fiercest battles? The kind of strength that no one gave you, because you built it from within. Number 11. Your forged radiance embodies resilient triumph. Your complete self-ownership doesn't just inspire reclamation, it radiates a strength sculpted through life's fiercest trials. This next truth in your journey of personal empowerment unveils why you're so dangerously attractive. Your glow isn't a fleeting veneer. It's a profound reflection of resilience and authenticity, earned through overcoming adversity. Through self-discovery, you've transformed hardship into inner strength, sparking a spiritual awakening that compels others to confront their own untested depths. This is the essence of your self-awareness, and it's redefining what it means to shine in a world chasing superficial fixes. When you enter any space, your presence captivates, not merely for your outward vitality, but for the unspoken story of survival woven into it. Ever noticed how people are drawn to your energy, yet seem awed or unsettled, as if sensing a weight behind your light? That's because your self-confidence isn't born from quick solutions, trendy aesthetics, or fortunate breaks. It's the result of enduring challenges that would shatter most. Heartbreak, betrayal, or moments of isolation that pushed you to your limits. You didn't just survive, you emerged stronger, rebuilding yourself from the wreckage of pain. For example, your poised resilience at a family gathering, where you share a story of rising above a personal loss, might inspire a relative to admire your courage, but unsettle another who avoids their own unresolved grief, sensing the depth you forged through struggle. From a psychological perspective, your forged radiance stirs a powerful response. Society often encourages masking struggles with polished facades, social media filters, curated personas, or borrowed success. Your emotional intelligence, honed through navigating life's darkest moments, acts like a lens, exposing the fragility of such illusions. Those who are honest with themselves feel humbled, recognizing that your personal growth stems from trials they might not endure. Others, however, feel challenged, deflecting by labeling your strength as too much or unrelatable to protect their egos. For instance, a coworker might undermine your leadership, uncomfortable because your resilience, earned through years of overcoming setbacks, contrasts with their reliance on external validation. This forces a piercing question. What could I achieve if I faced my own battles? A truth too raw for those clinging to surface-level shine. What's remarkable is that you don't seek to outshine anyone. You simply live your authentic living, embodying your life purpose with a self-worth that can't be mimicked. Your glow, crafted in the crucible of adversity, through facing rejection, rebuilding trust, or finding light in despair, radiates a quiet authority that defies society's obsession with instant gratification. In a culture that glorifies superficiality, your self-acceptance and inner peace redefine beauty, proving that true strength is earned, not borrowed. This makes you a catalyst for social change, inspiring some to embrace their own overcoming adversity, while unsettling those who hide behind facades, their inauthenticity exposed by your unshakable light. As you continue to radiate this resilient self-awareness, you'll keep transforming the world, not through effort, but through the undeniable power of your inner strength. You're rewriting what it means to shine through survival, and that's a revolution others can't ignore. So, what happens when your forged radiance not only embodies triumph, but shatters the outdated narratives others cling to for comfort? Number 12. Your evolution shatters outdated narratives. Your forged radiance doesn't just embody triumph, it upends the outdated stories others tell themselves to avoid growth. In your journey of personal empowerment, this quality unveils why you're so dangerously attractive. You're a disruptor, radiating authenticity that dismantles the comforting narratives people cling to about you. Through self-discovery, you've transcended their expectations, igniting a spiritual awakening that challenges their need for control. This is the essence of your self-awareness, redefining freedom in a world anchored to static perceptions. Your transformed presence unsettles those tied to old versions of you. Ever noticed how some try to tether you to who you once were, as if your evolution threatens their sense of reality? People find comfort in familiar tales, crafting stories of your past limits, mistakes, insecurities, to keep you predictable. Your resilience, however, shatters these narratives. You've outgrown their labels, stepping into a bolder, more self-confident self. At a family reunion, your pursuit of a daring new path, Perhaps a venture born from rediscovered passion might inspire a cousin but unsettle an aunt who expects the old you they knew. This growth exposes their stagnation, disrupting their illusion of control. Psychologically, your authentic living stirs discomfort. Clinging to fixed narratives offers security, shielding people from their own lack of progress. Your emotional intelligence and inner strength challenge their worldview, sparking awe in those open to personal growth, but defensiveness in others. They might gossip or undermine you, dismissing your evolution as showing off to avoid their own limitations. This resistance reveals their fear. Your self-acceptance highlights their reluctance to change. You're not just evolving, you're a catalyst for social change, urging others to question the stories they've accepted. Your transformation isn't merely personal, it's a bold defiance of static realities. So, what happens when your evolution radiates a peace that provokes those entangled in chaos? Number 13. Your unshakable peace provokes transformation. Your evolution doesn't just shatter outdated narratives, it radiates a peace that provokes those entangled in chaos. In your journey of personal empowerment, this quality unveils why you're so dangerously attractive. You've mastered an inner peace that's not passive but powerful, rooted in authenticity and self-awareness. Through self-discovery, you've cultivated a calm that defies the world's turmoil, sparking a spiritual awakening that challenges others to rethink their reactive lives. This is the essence of your self-confidence, redefining strength in a society addicted to noise. When you stand firm amid chaos, your presence sends a silent yet seismic message. Ever noticed how some are baffled when you sidestep petty drama, while others seem provoked by your composure? That's because your resilience isn't about dodging conflict. It's about knowing your self-worth so deeply that gossip, slights, or provocations can't shake you. Most people are trapped in reaction mode, exhausting themselves by engaging every insult or rumor. You, however, remain unshaken, your emotional intelligence guiding you to stay centered. For example, in a heated workplace debate, your calm response to a passive-aggressive jab might disarm a colleague but frustrate another who expects you to retaliate, highlighting their own entanglement in chaos. Psychologically, your authentic living unsettles those who thrive on turmoil. Insecure individuals see your inner strength as a challenge, unable to fathom how you stay composed when they're unraveled by drama. They might try to provoke you, hoping to drag you into their storm. Yet your refusal to engage, choosing silence over reaction, declares your self-ownership, a sovereignty that intimidates. This calm, authentic, and unforced inspires those seeking personal growth, but threatens those who equate power with noise. You're a catalyst for social change, showing that true strength lies in control, not chaos. Your peace isn't just personal, it's a bold defiance of a reactive world. So what happens when your unshakable calm not only provokes but radiates a destiny that outshines your presence? Let's uncover that next. Number 14. Your destiny outshines your presence. Your unshakable calm doesn't just provoke, it radiates a destiny that lingers long after you've left the room. This quality unveils why you're so dangerously attractive. Your influence transcends your physical presence, stirring hearts and minds in your absence. Through self-discovery, you've aligned with your life purpose, igniting a spiritual awakening that reshapes how others see their own potential. This is the essence of your self-awareness, redefining impact in a world chasing fleeting impressions. When you're gone, your essence still resonates, sparking conversations and thoughts. Ever noticed how people keep mentioning you, as if your energy clings to the air? Most are bound to temporary roles, seeking validation through predictable actions. You, however, embody a resilience that hints at a monumental future, crafted without fanfare. At a workshop, Your bold ideas might linger in peers' discussions days later, inspiring some to rethink their paths while unsettling others who resist change. Your destiny exerts a magnetic pull, shifting perspectives before you even arrive, rooted in the self-confidence of your vision. Psychologically, this lasting influence challenges those tethered to routine. Your emotional intelligence, grounded in authentic living, taps into their buried aspirations, stirring awe and unease. Some embrace your personal growth, motivated to explore their own self-worth. Others fixate, unable to name why you haunt their thoughts, dodging the potential you reflect. Your inner strength signals a transformative path disrupting their static lives. You're a catalyst for social change, embodying a possibility that provokes growth. Your destiny isn't just personal, it's a force that redefines reality, leaving an indelible mark on the world. This radiant purpose binds your qualities into a legacy that transforms, ready to be celebrated in our conclusion. Your radiant destiny doesn't just transform, it ignites a legacy that reshapes the world. This final truth unveils why you're so dangerously attractive. Your allure, rooted in authenticity, outshines superficial charm. Through self-discovery, you've embraced your life purpose, sparking a spiritual awakening that inspires others to unlock their self-worth. Your inner strength disrupts the mundane, radiating a personal empowerment that defies conformity. Your influence lingers, stirring hearts even in your absence. At a gathering, your bold vision might spark a friend's dormant dreams, while unsettling those clinging to routine. Your resilience and self-confidence challenge society's obsession with fleeting trends, awakening potential others didn't know they had. Psychologically, your emotional intelligence provokes awe and unease. Some embrace your personal growth, others resist, fearing the mirror of their untapped possibilities. You're a catalyst for social change, proving true power lies in self-ownership and overcoming adversity. This authentic living is your revolution, a force no one can contain. Thank you for joining this journey of awakening. May your inner peace shine brighter, inspiring others to rise. Your dangerous allure is unstoppable, a legacy that transforms forever. Share your story in the comments, spread this message by sharing, and subscribe for more insights to fuel your self-awareness. Your light is vital. Keep blazing.